For years, the truth stayed hidden, the victims forgotten, the cases left cold, until science revealed what time could not. This is Decades in the Dark, where cold cases are brought back to light. Williston, North Dakota, April 11th, 1981. 15-year-old Barbara Cotton had dinner with her family at a local restaurant. She told her mother she'd be going for a walk with her boyfriend. Before she left, she stopped by the Elks Lodge to visit her older brother, Frank, where she grabbed a cup of coffee. Then, she was gone. Barbara's family reported her missing the next day, but police weren't concerned. They suggested Barbara had simply run away. But her mother knew better. Barbara left behind her clothes, her eyeglasses, even her last paycheck. She hadn't taken anything, because she wasn't planning to leave. Her mother didn't know much about the boy Barbara was meeting. Just a first name, no last name, no background. And as it turned out, that name wasn't even real. No flyers, no search party, no press conference, just silence. Barbara Cotton vanished from the middle of a small town, and nothing happened. No one went door to door. No one searched the riverbanks. No one even called the local radio stations. The Williston police didn't issue an alert. They didn't chase leads. They didn't even interview everyone who knew her. Instead, they made a decision within days. A decision that would define the next 40 years. They decided Barbara was a runaway. Case closed. They never explained how a girl could disappear without her glasses, without money, without any belongings, and be expected to survive on her own. They never explained how they ruled out foul play without interviewing the last person who saw her alive. They just stopped asking questions. For Barbara's family, it was like losing her twice. First to the night she disappeared, then to a system that refused to look for her. And for Barbara, it meant no one was coming. The last person to see Barbara alive was her boyfriend, a man going by the name Timothy Bassett. But that name was a lie. Decades later, internet sleuths on Reddit and web sleuths, working with retired officer John O'Donnell, uncovered the truth. Timothy Bassett was an alias for a man named Raymond Ray Gogler. Gogler had a long and disturbing criminal record. He was accused of multiple assaults, including sexual offenses involving minors, and was known to use fake names to avoid detection. He manipulated vulnerable people, lied to authorities, and evaded consequences by constantly shifting identities. Yet somehow, in Williston, he slipped through unnoticed. Not long after Barbara vanished, Gogler fled the US and eventually turned up overseas. He was later murdered in Pakistan under suspicious circumstances. Details surrounding his death remain murky, and to this day, there's no official indication that Williston police ever realized who he really was. The man last seen with Barbara vanished, and no one looked for him. One of the most disturbing details? The backpack. Barbara was reportedly carrying a small bag when she disappeared. A bag that may have been turned into police, but it was never logged as evidence. No inventory, no follow-up. The backpack simply disappeared, just like Barbara. What was inside? Clothes? A note? Something that could have cracked the case? No one knows. The police lost it, and no one was ever held accountable. As online sleuths and retired investigators peeled back layers of Barbara's case, new names emerged. Men who hovered around the edges of the story, whose actions and disappearances deepened the mystery. One of them was Frank J. Della Pena, a geology tech working in Williston around the time Barbara vanished. He wasn't known to the Cotton family, but he made himself known. He began claiming to be part of a search party for Barbara, despite the fact that no official search was ever organized. Then, on May 7, 1981, just weeks after Barbara vanished, Della Pena abducted two girls, ages 9 and 12, in Wyoming. He lured them into his trailer with the promise of a puppy. The next day, both girls were found murdered near a highway. Della Pena was arrested after applying for a job in Colorado. While in custody, he refused to cooperate, refused extradition, and hanged himself in jail 5 days later. He was never officially linked to Barbara's case, but the timeline, the location, the behavior, it was all too close to ignore. Then there was Stacy Werder, another man loosely connected to Barbara. Local rumors, and even Barbara's own family, believe Stacy may have been the last person to see her alive. Some say he walked her part of the way home that night. Others claim he offered her a ride. But police never confirmed it, and before anyone could ask questions, it was too late. Shortly after Barbara disappeared, Stacy was arrested in Malta, Montana. Days later, he died by suicide in jail. Stacy's family later said he had a violent past, at one point nearly strangling his own father with an extension cord. His sisters believed he knew something about Barbara, but they were never interviewed by law enforcement. Another opportunity missed. And finally, there was Barbara's own brother, Frank L. Cotton. Early in the investigation, Frank was quietly listed as a person of interest. It's unclear why. Some say there were tensions between him and Barbara. Others believe he may have known more about her disappearance than he ever shared. He was never charged, and he died of colon cancer in 1999, taking whatever secrets he may have had with him. That same year, Barbara's mother placed 2 headstones in the family plot, one for her son, one for her daughter, a gesture of closure, or maybe forgiveness. 3 men, 3 deaths, and 1 girl who never came home. Barbara's mother never stopped searching. She contacted news outlets, pleaded with police, begged for updates. They never came. And to this day, the Williston Police Department has never acknowledged that they mishandled the case. No public apology, no formal review, no admission that they failed a 15-year-old girl who left behind everything and simply vanished. No flyers, no search, no questions. Instead, they wrote her off as a runaway and let her disappear a second time, into silence. Barbara's mother died without ever knowing what happened to her daughter. Today, Barbara's siblings carry that burden, and the internet has taken up the torch, reopening a case the town seemed eager to forget. Barbara didn't run away, she was taken. This is Decades in the Dark, where science brings the past to light. Subscribe for more stories where justice never expires. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee using the link in the description.